While browsing the Steam store in the free-to-play section looking for some cheap thrills, I spotted this little game called For Mother Matron. It was a visual novel game, and the only game released by its developer, Velvetique, at the time of this video's recording. Now, I'd personally never played a title like this before, with the only kind of experience in this type being anime adaptations of visual novels such as Steins Gate and Higurashi, which are both fantastic in their own right. I decided to give it a try, and holy shit was it good. So good in fact that I decided to make a damn video essay about it. So without further ado, here's my quick thoughts on For Mother Matron in under 5 minutes. Upon booting up the game, you can already tell what kind of game it's going to be. That's not a bad thing in the slightest, as even its description in the Steam store calls it an atmospheric horror visual novel about surviving life or death situations in a miserable world. The story is set up in a place called the Boarding, which is described as a run-down town that's walled away from an impenetrable fog. Our protagonist, Lizzie, is the resident of this town, though she seems to have a sort of memory loss. This game builds upon this concept pretty well, giving us not only a world that seemingly has lots to explore, should another game release contained in the same setting, but also lots of little tidbits of story found in character dialogue as well. I also love the little random references to outside media in the game. Just one character is found to be reading the poem Theogony by Hesiod, and there's even a little cooking companions poster in the clinic at the start of the game. I don't care that this may stray away from the tone of the game, but it's one of those funny and kind of cute things you can really only find in indie releases anymore. Overall, I love to see the little world that Velvetique has created expanded upon. Upon booting up the game, you can already tell what kind of game it's going to be. The story is set in a place called the Boarding, which is described as a run-down town that's walled away from an impenetrable fog. Our protagonist, Lizzie, is a resident of this town, though she seems to have a sort of memory loss, which adds to the mystery behind the setting. This game builds upon this concept pretty well, giving us not only a world that seemingly has lots to explore, should another game release contained in this same setting, but also lots of little tidbits of story found in character dialogue as well. I also love the little random references to outside media in the game, such as one character is found to actually be reading the poem Theogony by Hesiod, and there's even a little cooking companions poster in the clinic at the start of the game. I don't even care that it may stray away from the tone of the game, but it's one of those funny and kind of cute things that you can really only find in indie releases anymore. Overall, I'd love to see this little world that Velvetique has created expanded upon in the future. The backdrop artwork, which seems to be a good amount of horror-themed AI images, correct me if I'm wrong, works well in adding to the uncanny nature of both the boarding and the depths of the crepuscule. Our MC and our companions are actually animated, rather than the lifelike faces we see whenever we speak to other townsfolk, serving as a great contrast by making the surroundings almost seem incomprehensible at times. This adds to the underlying feel of the story, as it is surely a feeling we can share with our protagonist as well, especially through the climax of the story, though I won't go into detail here. The voice acting really sells the whole thing though. I mean, just listen to this.
I merely exist here. Living is a diseased state that consists of pain and an all-encompassing fear of death. And, if you're a mutant of nature, a desperate desire for meaning to be woven from chaos itself.
This game doesn't rely on cheap jump scares either, unlike many other horror games that try to scare through pure shock value, but rather relies on the mix of unsettling backgrounds, eerie audio, and some terrific narrative choices. I wouldn't say the horror maintains its effect through the end of the game though. That may have just been because of me getting used to the environment after playing and taking notes, but it really does take itself seriously through the whole story and is an enjoyable experience throughout. I'm not going to go over a lot here since I would like you all to experience the game for yourselves, but this game ends up being a multi-layered narrative in which you pick up pieces through your playthrough. This can take multiple playthroughs as well depending on your choices, as this game has you make multiple choices throughout in order to progress. If I had to sum it up nicely without too many spoilers, I'd say this game is like the spirit child of the Maze Runner and the Promised Neverland. So overall, I thought this game was fantastic. I'm not sure if this is due to my lack of experience with games of this type, but regardless, I enjoyed it immensely. I'd really like to see another game in the same world as this, should the creator decide to will it into existence. That being said, I'll leave this game's Steam store link in the description. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.